Yeah, there's no doubt you're new, the guy said, as he looked back at me for a moment. Look, I'm not gonna spend all day explaining it to you, but since this is your first go-round, and just like most of the other morons, this'll probably be your last. This is most likely a waste of my time, but I'll do it. There's standards for entry, in order to ensure that the people who buy tickets to the races get a fair show. We scan all of the equipment and the vehicles that enter, and there's a standard requirement for everyone who enters. If your equipment or your vehicle is subpar, even if you're in it, you can still be turned away, he said as he turned away from me and began running the scanner over Titan. Okay, let me see here, he said, scanning over it back and forth, the small handheld device emitting a bright series of blue lights running across Titan's frame. He simply ran it back and forth, and then, suddenly, he got a somewhat shocked look on his face. What the hell? There's gotta be something wrong with this thing. I'll try it again, he said as he began waving the wand-like object over Titan's body again. Those same blue lines tracing over everything. Yeah, this time I'm doing a deep scan. Make sure that nothing's off, he said, as the light was more intense as it came from the object. But after finishing the scans, he looked back at the clipboard on his chest. What the hell? You're freaking kidding me, he said, looking at the clipboard in amazement. Like, where? How? Guy, who are you? You already read my name off the clipboard, I replied. I think it's pretty obvious who I am. Why are you asking? Look, we, the people who officiate parts of the race, well, as I said, there are standards for entry, but not everyone has to meet the same standard. We often categorize the vehicles based on the equipment and technology at the disposal of the driver. You can be anything from a CAD 1 to a CAD 5. CAD 1 being the base requirement for entry. In fact, the large majority of the people who enter are CAD 1. But CAD 5 is, well, that's a special category. It's a category you only meet when the technologies at your disposal are of the highest possible category. The most dangerous vehicles are CAD 5. Freaking Thor is a CAD 5. Hell, the Angel of Death itself is a CAD 5. We register these categories based on a multitude of things, including what powers the engine, the strength and design of the engine, the weaponry, the makeup of the weaponry, efficiency and design. This little wand I have connects direct back to the mainframe. So even though I'm scanning it here, all of the information is getting run back to the mainframe. Basically a big-ass supercomputer. It processes all the data that I get from the scan and gives me back a CAD category for what your vehicle stands in. According to the scans, you're a CAD 5. No one has ever entered this race for the first time and been a CAD 5. It's never happened. According to the scans, your vehicle is almost completely comprised of an exceptionally rare metal, powered by what looks like a third-generation biotech freaking engine. Holy crap! And the systems and weaponry on this thing. Honestly, by the looks of it, the computer is actually having trouble categorizing them. They're both incredibly advanced, but also very primitive. It can't tell which it is. But regardless of why, the supercomputer has decided to designate your vehicle a CAD 5, which I'm gonna tell you, kid, is new. Honestly, I can't wait to see what this thing does. I don't get detailed blueprints here. I just get a basic layout for what you might call a danger level. And yours is sky high, kid. What do you got in this thing? Oh, well, I have an assortment of weapons. Jax has outfitted me graciously with a great deal of assets, Titan said, as the man with the clipboard jumped back for a moment. What the hell was that? He shouted. Oh, I'm sorry if I startled you, Titan said. I am Titan, the artificial intelligence program built into the motorcycle. It's nice to meet you. Holy crap. Yeah, that's a new one. Talking motorcycle. Okay. You know what? I think I'm just about done here. And, don't tell anyone I'm gonna do this, but, a rank new entry with no history in the race is a pure underdog. No one's gonna expect anything. Don't tell my boss, but after looking at this little scan, I'm gonna talk to a few of my friends about placing some long odds wagers. I think I just found a ringer with long odds, he said as he smiled, stepping off the back of the hauler. Yeah, I think he likes us, I said, smiling, as the hauler began to close the back door. Really? You think he does? Titan replied. Trust me, if he's betting money, he likes us. I mean, come on, Titan. We're awesome. You're especially awesome, but I'm awesome too. Remember, I'm all superhuman and stuff. Nanite brain, I said, laughing. Well, I don't think there's anything funny about that. I think you're super too. There's nothing comical about it. I don't think I'd rather have any other partner. Thanks, Titan. I appreciate the support, I said, as the hauler picked up and started moving again. Eventually, the hauler pulled to a stop and opened back up, at which point I saw Al and Emily step to the back. Okay, kid, time to unload, Al said. I unlatched Titan and began to move off of the back of the hauler, making space to begin moving all the other equipment. And as I did, the sight that I saw was incredible. I had never seen so many people in my life, running around in every direction. I saw vehicles, trucks, jeeps, cars, all being unloaded and set up, equipment being put up everywhere. There was an outlined section with our race number in it, 200 whatever. A small segment encompassing about 50 feet. All of our equipment had to fit within that area. So we began the arduous process of setting everything up for the beginning of the race, and doing one last check over Titan's systems, as we began to see other vehicles doing the same. Wow, there are so many other vehicles in this race, Titan announced, as I was doing a check of the engine. They all have so much variation in their design. All of their weaponry, their form, their armor, it all seems so different. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I expected more uniformity. Well, Titan, I replied, I'm sorry if it upsets you, but there's not much uniformity in this race. Everyone goes in with a set of weaponry and equipment that they feel suits them or their vehicle. I'm not going to be gentle about this. Most of these people are terrible people. Primarily, the largest amount of people that enter the race are all, well, members of gangs. or gang leaders. They're the only people who have the resources to put together vehicles out here. And the rest of the contestants are usually people who placed highly or won previous Black Label races. They're the ones that are the most dangerous. And unfortunately, they usually fall into the same category. Before they were Black Label champions, they were ruthless thieves and murderers. All of them.